5. Mysore Sandal Soap turns 100 by Suresh Muna. Suresh Muna is a retired teacher and an NCC officer. He has the distinction means excellence, being an authority on history of Bangalore for over 4 decades. He runs an NGO named Aram. He writes for almost all leading local and national newspapers, both in vernacular. Vernacular means the language is spoken by ordinary people in a particular country or particular area, and in English. He has to his credit of writing more than 2000 articles and columns in various tabloids. Tabloids, these are the newspaper with the compact page size smaller than broadsheet, and there is no standard size of this newspaper format. And magazines. He has authored 12 books on the history of Bangalore. He has anchored the popular TV serial Bengaluru Namma Uru in Doordarshan. Masti Adyan Kendra, Bengaluru had sent him to London to do a comparative study of London and Bengaluru. Muna has several awards to his credit, amongst which is the prestigious Kempegowda Award by the Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagarpalika for his service in reviving the history of the city Bengaluru. This article is sourced from the newspaper The Hindu on 5th September 2019. So in this we can see that the writer Suresh Muna wrote an article on Mysore Sandal Soap on completion of its 100 years, which was published in the newspaper named The Hindu on 5th September 2019. Now about writer, he was a retired teacher and NCC officer, and he was having excellence in knowledge of history of Bangalore because he was in this field for near about 4 decades, that is 40 years. And he was also having an NGO named Arambh, and he wrote several articles which were published in vernacular in English language. Vernacular means the language is spoken by ordinary people in particular area, which got published in tabloids and magazines. Tabloids are the small newspapers, size is small. And moreover, he anchored popular TV serial Bengaluru Namma Uru in Doordarshan, and was sent to London to study London and Bengaluru comparison, was sent by Masti Adyan Kendra, and he got several awards for his work, but the prestigious among them was Kempegowda Award, which was given by Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagarpalika, that is BBMP, for his service in reviving the history of the city Bengaluru. Mysore Sandal Soap turns 100. Sir M. Vishveshwaraya was known for his dictum, industrialize or perish. Dictum means a formal authoritative announcement or declaration. He was instrumental. Instrumental means serving as a means of pursuing an aim or policy in starting several industrial, trade and commerce units, which laid a very strong foundation for Bangalore to become one of the few top industrial hubs of India. So here we can see that Sir M. Vishveshwaraya, he made authoritative declaration that any country should either industrialize means form industry, develop industry, or it will perish, or means it will die. So if any country is not doing industrialization, not developing industry, then that country may die. He was instrumental means he act as he worked as a medium for starting several units. These units were industrial units for forming industry, trade units for business, and commerce units for financial matter. So these three types of units he established to form strong foundation, means base, to form base for Bangalore to become industrial hubs. Industrial hubs are the cities or regions where specific type of businesses are clustered. So he wanted to make Bangalore industrial hub. For that he established industrial units, trade units, commerce units to work as a base for formation of industries and making Bangalore industrial hub. Manufacturing Mysore Sandal Soap in 1916 is one such attempt of far-sightedness. Far-sightedness means looking for the future, and the aroma, that is a pleasant smell of the soap, still lingers. Lingers is attached or remain strong, far and wide, even after a century. So in order to make Bangalore an industrial hub, in 1916 he made attempt of manufacturing Mysore Sandal Soap, and after 1916 it completed 100 years in 2016. That means after a century, 100 year also, people still remember the aroma, that is the pleasant smell of the soap, and they are still attached with it. Means this soap was so successful that people are still using it and remembering the smell of it. This was a result of his far-sightedness at that time. Mysore Sandal Soap is one of the great contributions to the motherland by Sri Krishna Raja Wadiyar IV and Diwan Sir M. Vishweshwaraya. The person who made their dream a reality was Sosel Garalapuri Shastri, who was popularly known as So Sastri. So for making this Mysore Sandal soap, there were two main people who worked for the motherland. They were first Sri Krishna Raja Wadiyar IV, who was a king at that time, and M. Vishweshwaraya was the Diwan of uh, Krishna Raja Wadiyar IV, and it was a dream of these two, Krishna Raja Wadiyar IV and Diwan Sir M. Vishweshwaraya, to form Mysore Sandal Soap, and their dream was brought into reality with the contribution of Sosel Garalapuri Shastri, who was popularly known as Soap Sastri because of his contribution in forming this soap, making this soap. The interesting saga. Saga is a long story of heroic achievement of this soap began with the First World War. Mysore Kingdom was the largest producer of sandalwood in the world, most of which was exported to Europe. But during the First World War, a large source of sandalwood was left over as they could not be sent out due to war. So we can find the interesting and long story of this soap, which started with the First World War. At the time of First World War, Mysore Kingdom was producing sandalwood at a very large scale. and it was exported to Europe. But because of World War, they failed to export this sandalwood to European countries. Meanwhile, Diwan Sir M.V. gave more emphasis means stress, on industrial development in Bangalore. He wanted to produce a soap of good quality to be within the reach of the general public. A technical person, technical means skilled and knowledgeable person from Bombay was also invited and arrangements were made for him to do the experiments in the premises of Indian Institute of Science. Premises means area. At the same time, Sir M.V. also identified a young and bright scientist, S.G. Shastri, involved in research or at IISc, that is Indian Institute of Science. The government deputed him to England to learn the technical know-how of making soap. Though there was an initial setback in England, setback is delay. In England, in knowing the process, he could succeed in getting the required knowledge. Both the Maharaja and the Diwan were waiting anxiously for the return of the scientist. So we can see that the story of this soap, which is started because the export of sandalwood was hampered due to the First World War. At that time, MV, that is M. Vishveshwaraya, decided to develop industry of soap of good quality which can reach general public, means it will be so reasonable in price that everyone can use it. And for the initiation of process, they called a technical person. Technical is the skilled and knowledgeable person from Bombay, and they invited that person, made arrangement in their premises, in their area. Which area? Indian Institute of Science. There they made arrangement for him, and they uh, provided him all the facilities so that he can do the experiments for formation of soap. And at that time, when this person from Bombay was working on it, at that same time, Sir M. Vishveshwaraya, he found a young and brilliant scientist whose name was S.G. Shastri, who was doing research in Indian Institute of Science. So he brought S.G. Shastri also for the same, and government sent S.G. Shastri to England so that he can learn the technical knowledge of making soap. But what happened there? There was a setback, means delay in knowing uh, the method of making soap. He failed to do that, but he succeeded in acquiring the knowledge of it. And at that time, both Maharaja as well as Diwan, both were waiting for him to return back with the knowledge of making of soap so that they can initiate their work. The Mysore government started a unit near KR Circle in 1916 to manufacture sandal soap in Bangalore using pure sandalwood oil. After the initial experiments, the technology means the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in industry of manufacturing. Manufacturing means making. The soap using pure sandalwood oil was standardized. Standardized means to establish a standard consisting of regulations for how something is to be done across an organization in 1918. To procure means obtain. The oil, a factory for distilling oil from sandalwood was also set up in Mysore in the same year. In the later decades, another distilling unit was started in Shimoga too. So for making this soap unit, what was required first? Sandalwood oil. So for making this sandalwood oil, for obtaining it, a manufacturing unit was established in 1916 in KR Circle to obtain sandalwood oil. From 1916 till 1918, several experiments were done to get the proper technology of manufacturing of soap. And finally, in 1918, they got the proper technology. So they standardized the method of making soap. And after that, one unit, one more unit of obtaining sandalwood oil was established in Mysore in 1918, and after few decades another distilling unit was started in Shimoga for getting sandalwood oil. So we saw that the first sandalwood oil making unit was established in 1916 in KR Circle, then next in 1918 in Mysore, and next in Shimoga after few decades. S.G. Sastry devised means invent, a new method to present the soap to market in a unique manner. In those days, soaps of other companies used to be rectangular in shape and were wrapped in thin, shiny, colorful papers. But Mysore Sandal Soap was given an oval shape. Sharaba, a mythological creature having the body of a lion and the head of an elephant, chosen as the logo. Logo means a visual symbol or emblem of the factory, found a place in the center. The creature stood for the combined virtue of wisdom, courage, and strength, and represented the state's philosophy. Shastri felt that the soap with so much of culture behind should be given to the customers as valuable a material as a jewel. So, a rectangular box resembling jewelry boxes was made. The floral designs and their colors were carefully chosen and printed on the box. The soap was wrapped in tissue paper as a jewel. Soaps deliver the jewels in the same manner. Arrangements were also made for proper and systematic. Systematic means according to a fixed plan or system. Advertisement. Major cities of our country and a few other countries carried neon signboards. Neon signboards means an illuminated board of the soap. Leading newspapers like The Hindu used to give half a page to promote the brand. Even matchboxes and tram tickets. Tram means a passenger vehicle for public use. Carried the pictures of the soap box. Once a procession. Procession means an organized body of people walking in a formal or ceremonial manner. To advertise the soap was done on camel back in Karachi. When an exhibition means a public display of work of art or items of interest held in an art gallery or museum or at a trade fair, was arranged to promote the product in London. It was presented in a befitting manner to the Queen. Befitting means appropriate, suitable, or right. She liked the aroma so much that she got some more soaps for the royal family. The popularity and systematic publicity left British soap manufacturers envious. Envious means jealous or resentful. It is said that they tried to chide. Chide means to blame, scold, or rebuke it as my sore. Sore means physically painful or sensitive as a wound or diseased part or sore arm. So, but nothing stopped Mysore Sandal Soap of Bangalore from becoming a household name. Now, till here we saw that the soap was made and now it was a time to market it. So the new method was presented to market it in market. So what was it at that time? The other soap companies used to uh, manufacture soap in rectangular shape, and it was also wrapped in thin, shiny, colorful papers. But what was done with this Mysore Sandal Soap? It was given oval shape instead of rectangular shape. And another thing, one of the beast of Hindu mythology, which is known as Sharaba. Here we can see in this picture, this is Sharaba. This is one of the animal or beast with the head of elephant and the body of lion. So this Sharaba, it was chosen as a logo, that is a visual symbol or emblem of the factory, and this was displayed in the center of the soap. And this creature, it was showing these virtues. Which virtues? First is wisdom. Wisdom is the proper knowledge, which is shown with this elephant. Elephant is considered as the wise. And courage and strength, these are represented by this lion. So together, all together, it is showing wisdom, courage and strength, and it represented the state philosophy. Philosophy is the fundamental knowledge, reality and existence. After that, Shastri thought that we added so much cultural value to it. Now it became very valuable as jewel. So it should be given like a jewel. So this rectangular box was given the look of jewelry box, and on this jewelry box floral designs were made, as we can see over here, this side, and this was printed on the box. Finally, this soap was wrapped in tissue paper like jewel is wrapped uh, in the in some colorful paper, same manner. After that, there was a time packing is done. Now there was a time for systematic. Systematic is according to a fixed plan or system. So now it was a time to do advertisement. So for advertisement, what was done? Very first, neon signboard was used, which was the illuminated board. So the neon signboard of soap was used. Next, in the newspaper, The Hindu, half page was used to promote this brand. After that, matchboxes and tram tickets, they carried the pictures of soap. And next, this was the third. After that, fourth, the procession was organized in which this soap was advertised on camel back in Karachi. And fifth, in exhibition, it was displayed as a product in London. So we can see here there were the 5 ways in which it was advertised. Number 1, neon signboard. Number 2, half page in the Hindu newspaper. Number 3, on matchbox and tram tickets, picture of soap was used. Number 4, in procession on camelback in Karachi. And number fifth, in exhibition, it was promoted as a product in London. And after that, what happened? It was presented in a befitting manner. Befitting means appropriate. It was presented in appropriate manner to the queen, and queen liked the smell of it so much that she got some more soap for the royal family. And after that, this soap became very popular, and it became so popular that the people loved this soap so much they were wanting to get this soap. The popularity and systematic publicity left British soap manufacturer envious, and because it became so popular that the other British soap manufacturer, they became jealous. They started blaming, chiding, they started blaming, and they started saying that it's not Mysore soap but it is my sore soap. Sore here means something which is wounded, diseased. So they started saying that this is not a soap but it's like a disease which is leading to the suffering of people. But after saying all this also, this soap remained popular for the people, and nothing stopped this Mysore Sandal Soap to become famous. As the popularity and demand increased, there was a need to increase the production. So, soap factory was shifted to a bigger space at Rajaji Nagar industrial suburb in 1957. In 1980, the government merged the sandalwood oil unit in Mysore and Shimoga and incorporated them under the company name Karnataka Soaps and Detergent Limited. The company since then has been manufacturing incense sticks, talcum powder, and detergents apart from sandal soaps in different shapes and sizes. To meet the increasing demand for the raw material in 2000, the Grow More Sandal project was initiated. So what happened? The demand for this soap was increased to such an extent, and it became so popular that there was a need to make more and more soap. So for that, this soap factory was shifted at Rajaji Nagar industrial suburb in 1957. Government merged the sandalwood oil unit of Mysore and Shimoga and incorporated it into the company named Karnataka Soaps and Detergents Limited, that is KSDL. After that, this company started making incense sticks, talcum powder, and detergent powder also, besides sandal soaps. And because of this, the demand of raw material of making this item increased in 2000, and after which the project was started to grow more sandalwood trees. Today there are many brands of soaps, but Mysore Sandal Soap has a distinctive place among all of them. It has been an iconic symbol of our rich culture and heritage. DVG, that is Devanahalli Venkataramanayya Gundappa, writes that S.G. Shastri was one of the prominent luminaries. Prominent means important, luminaries means a person who inspires or influences others of Kannada literary is related to literature and cultural realm, that is kingdom. His father, Sosail Ayya Shastri, a great scholar, was the one who had written the famous poem Swami Devane Lokapalane Te Namostu Namostute. Just listen to the song.
स्वामी देवनि लोकपालने ते नमोऽस्तु नमोऽस्तु ते स्वामी देवनि लोकपालने ते नमोऽस्तु नमोऽस्तु ते.
It was adopted as a film song and later the song had become a school prayer a few decades ago. So it's given about the person whose name is Devanahalli Venkat Ramanaya Gundappa, who writes about S.G. Shastri that he was one of the important person who influenced the other people in Kannada literature and showed them the cultural kingdom. And moreover, his father also, whose name was Sosel Ayya Shastri, he was also a great scholar and written the famous poem which is Swami Devane Lokapalane Te Namostu Namostute. This was a very famous one and this was used as a film song and later on came as school prayer also. S.J. Shastri has a few popular books to his credit. He has translated the Norwegian playwright is a person who writes plays, Henrik Ibsen's work to Kannada. S.G. Shastri lived in his own house near Lalbagh West Gate on M.N. Krishna Rao Road. Even now, the lovely structure exists as a testimony. Testimony means evidence or proof of something to his aromatic is that is related with a pleasant and distinctive smell contribution which made Bangalore globally known several decades ago. So here it's given about his books that he wrote a few books and one of his important work was the translation work. He translated the Norwegian playwright Henrik Ibsen's work into Kannada language. And now also the lovely structure that is his house exists as a proof or evidence when he is not here, and it also tells about his aromatic the work which is giving the pleasant smell which makes us to remember that pleasant smell of that sandalwood soap and his contribution which he made for Bangalore, and people know him at global level, at the world level, and he made Bangalore proud with his work.